So Sega announced that there's a new Sonic movie coming out in a few years, and unfortunately, it's probably gonna suck. Why? Because of these relentless cash cows. I don't really have to explain why. You could blame anything on these movies, like world hunger or nuclear threats, and nobody would really need a good reason. No good can come from these films, so I'm sure there's some connection if you think about it. No worries, though. I'm going to explain myself and my reasons why anyway, because I'm not letting these destructive moneybags off easy. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, Sega confirmed that there is going to be a movie based on the Sonic the Hedgehog video game series, and it'll be released in 2019. Now, this technically isn't the first Sonic movie. I recently reviewed the first film adaptation of Sonic called Sonic the Hedgehog OVA, which means original video animation, and it's actually just like two pilot episodes for a TV series that were just kind of put together. And if that doesn't make sense, then you'll get why I'm just going to say it's the first Sonic movie, and then this new one is the first real Sonic movie. Or not the second Sonic movie, the first real Sonic movie. So, first Sonic movie, first real Sonic movie. Make things simpler. So hey, cool, the first real Sonic movie is coming out. No, not cool, because I'm pretty sure it's going to stink. Why? Well, it all started back in 2000-something, I won't bother looking it up, when a little gigantic company called 20th Century Fox made an Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. And that led to anger, which led to hate, which led to suffering, which led to the dark side, or something like that. So Alvin and the Chipmunks was an old thing that they used to show on TV. I don't know if it was a movie, or just a TV show, or maybe a bunch of movies, or like Christmas special. I don't even know. I personally don't care for it. It's said to be like this classic series, and a lot of adults who grew up with it loved it, which is fine, but I didn't grow up with it, so I really don't care at all. I watched the Christmas special, or a Christmas special, maybe. There's a few, I don't know. And it was like a kid's cartoon based around the gimmick of high-pitched singing chipmunks. I get that. I can see why it was popular. I mean, if I were a kid, I'd have thought it was pretty fun and cute. But it's not like the Charles Schultz Peanut series where I can appreciate the subtle humor and clever writing as an adult. With Alvin, it was just kind of okay, and it was fairly ear-piercing after your siblings watch it like 100 times. But still, it was just fine. I just didn't care for it. Anyway, it died off, because that was a long time ago, and it was pretty much non-existent for like 2,000 years until Fox dug it up. And that's a pun, because foxes dig. And they decided to revive the series. I still didn't care. So they made the modern-day Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, and it was a grave that they most likely should not have dug up. So they turned the old hand-drawn cartoon into a CGI/live-action movie.
You know, the guy's always fooling around. You can't handle a serious relationship.
Weird choice, but okay. They made it like a Christmas family movie, and I don't know, I thought it was fine. I know a lot of critics and viewers nowadays hate this movie, but I didn't think it was that awful. Yes, it was just a cash-in to make money off people's nostalgia. Yes, it had some very immature humor. Yes, Alvin is a complete jerk. But overall, I think it's fine. It got me to laugh. I was like 11 when it came out. The story really isn't worth talking about. It's got like Alvin and his brothers and a bunch of stuff about family and love. And there's this big bad business dude whose name is Ian. He's hilarious, and he wants to make toys. But Dave's a stick in the mud, so he doesn't want to make toys, and so they fight, and I don't know, they save Christmas or something. So yeah, the story is just whatever, but I find it odd that they chose to make it a live-action/CGI movie and take place in a big city and have it mostly based around pop culture and the music industry and marketing and like a lot of boring stuff. I know you see that from so many movies nowadays, trying to be modern with CGI/live action, mixing cartoon characters with humans who live boring lives, but this movie, Alvin and the Chipmunks, was pretty much the one that started that trend, and brought the film industry down a very dark and gloomy road, but we'll get into that soon enough. Overall, I never minded Alvin and the Chipmunks. I honestly think it's just fine. But then they made a sequel, and that's where the evil lies. The first movie did so well that Fox released a sequel, Alvin and the Chipmunks: The Squeakquel. The Squeakquel. Could you imagine if they called the second Star Wars film Star Moors? So this film is a cash-in on the first film, which was a cash-in on the Chipmunks' popularity. That's 2 layers of cash-inning! This is where things get very bad, and the monster that Fox unleashed with their first Chipmunks film begins to evolve. In this quirky adventure, Alvin and his brothers have to attend a high school. What? Why would you send talking animals to a school, much less a high school? They can already talk and sing. Like, what more do you want from them? They're freaking chipmunks. Now, let's say, by some odd chance, that you want your talking animals to, like, learn things and be armed with, like, the knowledge that comes from being well-educated. That's really weird. But oh well, it's 2017. I can't discriminate against that. So teach them. Don't send them to a school filled with humans who are 200 times their size and are already in high school. They'll get trampled in the hallways by accident. Or on purpose by people like me. What if the teachers don't want to teach rodents or don't know how to teach rodents? Is there a method for that? Just, what sense does this make? Oh right, because the kids will love it. Never mind. So ALVIN 2, the high school musical thingy. Why not? Hey, maybe it can work. I mean, if it's a good movie, then it doesn't matter how far-fetched and nonsensical it is. Spoiler alert, it sucks. So the story on this one is Dave, who is not their dad.
You're not my dad!
Or something. And is Coach Frank from Skate 3.
Hey, you over there! Built and approved by me, Coach Frank. I'm gonna spank your buddy.
Nearly gets killed by magical gravity cardboard. So right off the bat, the main character for the film is out for this one because he didn't even want to be in it. So now the chipmunks are being watched over by this guy from who, I don't know what. Doesn't matter anyway, because high school, yeah! They go to school and it sucks. ALVIN is still a jerkbag, and so he gets all egotistical and hangs out with the bullies, so his brothers get mad because they're gonna do like this high school singing competition. Which makes no sense. They're huge pop stars. If Justin Bieber suddenly stopped all his music stuff to go to school and there was like a singing competition, I don't know, just don't let him do that. That doesn't seem fair. Oh, but the principal pretty much wants to be their wife, so it's okay, I guess. So they fail the singing competition because ALVIN sucks, and the female chipmunks win. Oh, did I not mention that? Apparently, there's exact gender-bent clone group of the chipmunks, and they sing too, and they fall in love with each other, and it's just dumb. And then Ian gets to win the competition with the Squirrel Girls because ALVIN sucks. Oh, did I not mention that Ian's in this too? So then Discount Dave doesn't get the girl. Oh, did I not mention that was a thing as well? Oh, and there's also this grandma who dies, and Ian is holding Squirrel Girls against their will, and there's a flippin' gerbil in a pipe. I don't know. There are so many plots in this film, all of which you don't care about, and it's very complicated and pandering, and it feels like a fanfic, and I didn't like it very much. And then they save the school, and ALVIN becomes less selfish, and then they save Theodore from a bird. And then Discount Dave gets the girl and Ian, like, eats trash or something. I don't know. So that's ALVIN 2, the Clone Wars. But then we get ALVIN 3. Chipwrecked. Oh my gosh. I didn't watch this one all the way through. I just gave up. It's a mess. ALVIN 4, Road Trip. I mean, Chip, Road Chip. More like roadkill. I actually watched this one, like, by myself last year as an adult, and I feel ashamed. Honestly, this one's not really worth talking about. It's actually really boring, and I don't know why I watched it all the way through. I started watching Cars 2, and I gave up after the first 10 minutes. How did I get through this one? Anyway, I think they're making a 5th one, but I don't even know, and that's the ALVIN series. And although the first one is just fine with me, it's mostly just a massive, terrible cash-in. So the first film created this whole big trend of CGI/live-action cash-ins, but why does that ruin the Sonic movie? The Sonic movie is being made by Sony, but ALVIN was made by Fox. Blah! Stop! We haven't gotten to the Smurfs yet. So somewhere in this timeline of ALVIN films, Sony decided to do the exact same thing that Fox did, but with the Smurfs. Smurfs was an old thing that they used to show on TV and yada yada yada, never seen it, looks boring. It was dead for many years until a big company came along and made it into a live-action CGI film about tiny creatures that get found by some dude who lives a normal life in a big city. Exactly what ALVIN did! And it isn't even the last film to cash in on this formula. Hop, Smurfs 2, Yogi Bear, Paddington. It seems like there's a lot of bears, actually. That's interesting. But after ALVIN did it, now everyone is doing it. Now, I do get that ALVIN and the Chipmunks wasn't the first film to do this CGI live-action thing, cash-in, whatever. We had Scooby-Doo, Stuart Little, and Garfield long before this film ever came along, but ALVIN perfected this formula and did something that past films failed to do. Be a competent movie. Actually, I don't remember Stuart Little very well. I mean, it could be good, but my sister didn't like it, so I probably didn't like it. I don't know. ALVIN 1 was at least a competent not boring movie with a clear direction, and it also had like the perfect mixture of elements to rope in a massive audience. You had the chipmunks, which adults loved when they were younger, the pitched voices, which made the trailers stand out, and made kids force their parents to see this film. You had the real-world live-action aspect to make the movie seem more realistic and sophisticated enough to stop older people from shying away, as they might have if it was all CGI. And you had the pop songs. Oh, the pop songs. All the pop songs that you listen to. Your mom listens to pop songs. Oprah listens to pop songs. Everyone gets a prop song. Prop song. Oh my. Overall, this formula was obviously a huge hit, and hence, death and destruction in the form of awful movies with obvious childish formulas were unleashed upon the world for the sole purpose of making money. And no, I won't even comment on the live-action/CGI Transformer movies. Michael Bay's mature and shallow tone seems very refreshing after ranting about these movies for the longest time. So that is the story of the rise and the fall of CGI live-action pandering, money-making, formulaic, immature things. So how does this upcoming Sonic film get affected by all this? Well, we know very little about the film so far, but it has been at the very least confirmed that the film is going to be made by Sony. Oh dear. And is going to be live action/CGI. Oh dear. That mixed with the fact that it's a modern production of a classic series makes me even more scared. Obviously, seeing who's making it and what it's going to be, we could very easily be getting another childish, formulaic cash-in with little effort and some boring freaking human characters. And you have the repeated pattern of these cash cows as an unfortunate prediction as to what the future might hold. Even worse, video games made into films have a long-running curse of being, well, pretty bad. My history teacher used to always stress that knowing the world's history has a much higher purpose than just being armed with knowledge and being able to fact-check your friends. Knowing the decisions made in the past and seeing the outcome or consequences of those decisions is what we use today to learn and avoid making the same mistakes. And even though I was bored to death with my history class, the statement is very true. And seeing as the film industry learns nothing from their mistakes, it looks like this movie's gonna suck. Now, as a person who generally likes to think more into reasons that this might succeed as opposed to why it will fail, I do have some good counter-arguments against my prediction that I'm sure many of you have already written in the comments. Firstly, Sonic the Hedgehog as a series does seem to demand a live-action CGI movie, in the sense that its games have a lot of worlds and locations inhabited by humans. And not like cartoony humans either. Like, you can tell that in the games like Sonic Adventure 1, 2, or Sonic 06, the creators are trying to make it seem like Sonic and his accomplices coexist in a world with real humans. Maybe even on Earth. You could replace all the humans in 06 with real, like, live actors, and it would still have the same atmosphere. Heck, maybe at least would be a little less wooden, even. Second reason, I've heard this Sonic film is leaning towards a PG-13 rating, which, I mean, could be true, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, could be not true, I don't really know. But it also means that it likely won't be a pandering kids film either. True, films nowadays try to give themselves a PG-13 rating just to rope in a higher audience at times, but this could just mean that it'll be less pandering or childish than most CGI animated films. Third reason, maybe it'll all just be CGI besides the locations. Maybe, I hope, maybe that's what they mean. I'd have no idea. So yeah, there are a lot of reasons why this film could go well, and why it could fail. But knowing the film industry and Sony, I have a lot of fear about this one. I'll review it when it comes out for sure, and of course, I hope it's one of the best things ever. But until then, I'll be here, waiting, watching from the shadows, the Batman of hoping that Sonic movies are good, and hating on Chipmunks movies. By the way, if you like those movies, that's perfectly fine. I actually really see the appeal, but I grew out of them very fast. And as a critic, I don't think they're very good movies. But anyway, I'll be here, scared, and still weeping over the fact that the Emoji Movie got uncancelled. Why is that a thing? Although, to be fair, they are making a massive film trilogy about the Tetris series. So I don't know. Rubik's Cube the movie, anyone? Mug the movie? Toothpick the movie? A movie about air? Oh, look at that. They actually did that. Well, this looks really good.